Tell these fans it's a rivalry. You don't need to prop this up as the final hurdle of a dream season. You don't need to hype an ACC championship spot or a chance of the college football playoff. You don't need to tell them anything else but this. You're playing Kentucky. It's cats and cards. It's blue and red. It's the great divide in a state overserved neat with passion. It's the Governor's Cup. And right here, right now, it's the only thing that matters. As we welcome you to college football on ABC, presented by Dayquil. This is Rivalry Week, presented by Mazda CX-90, a sold-out L&N Stadium. Louisville, they are number 10 in the country, and today their annual battle against talent-rich Kentucky has arrived, as has this kind of heat. Let's show you what happened just 90 minutes before kickoff. The Cards and the Cats just letting each other know it is on. Is it ever? Joe Tessitore and Jesse Palmer with you. And here's Louisville, still one of 9 teams alive to make the college football playoff. We'll go through all those scenarios as the day goes on. Perhaps not as much chaos as you think. They're 10-1. They're playing in the rivalry game, and it hits differently.
This is the best week in college football. It's rivalry week, and rivalries are what make the sport the best sport in the world. These two teams, Kentucky and Louisville, a lot of familiarity. A lot of these players have played against each other in high school. These fan bases do not like each other whatsoever. And it's games like this, Joe, you just take the records, you take the stats, you throw them out the window, because anything can happen when these two teams are playing for the Governor's Cup.
Let's bring Katie into the conversation. Katie, George, everyone you talk to is associated with this rivalry. They say people nationally have no idea the intensity within the state, but you do. You've lived it.
Well, let's put it like this, Tess. My mother graduated from the University of Kentucky. Her father played football for Bear Bryant, and when she married my dad, she said she willingly allowed him to convert her to being a Louisville fan because living in a house divided was truly not worth it. There is no middle ground. You're either one or you're the other. That's what makes this rivalry so great. Both fan bases are extremely passionate and sometimes charmingly delusional. Each team measures the success of their season on the outcome of this game. For Kentucky, knocking off a top 10 team would erase past disappointment from this season, while there's some Louisville fans who genuinely would rather beat Kentucky today than win the ACC championship next week. That's what you're dealing with, Tess.
Here come the Cards. 10-1, already a spot in the ACC championship locked up. Jesse, let's talk about how Louisville has found success this year.
You can't talk enough about Jeff Brom coming back to his alma mater in his first year here. You just mentioned it, 10 wins, playing in an ACC championship game. He's put himself in that discussion for National Coach of the Year. But this is a team in Louisville, they really pride themselves on their physicality. Running the ball, stopping the run. Their transfer quarterback, Jack Plummer's made a lot of plays. And it hasn't always been easy. This is a team that's found ways to win games, but they're not worried about FSU in the ACC title game next week. They're worried about an in-state rival today and a team in Kentucky that has beat them 4 straight times.
And a team that has one of the very best running backs in the SEC, Ray Davis, of course. And today he's just 10 yards away from making some history. That big blue wall, that offensive line, will it come crashing down on this magical Louisville season as Mark Stoops, 11 years in the rivalry game, set to go. We'll be back with Kickoff after this message and a word from our ABC stations. To defer, Kentucky's won the past 4 meetings. They've won 5 of the last 6, but this is a very different Louisville team we're facing now. Barion Brown on the return for the Cats. And he is met at the 20-yard line. What a good job this year from Ron English, the defensive coordinator for Louisville, Jesse.
And it's an aggressive defense. They love a bare front. They try to cover everybody up on the line of scrimmage. You see this more than any other team I've seen this year in college football. And linemen can't get double teams. Everybody's one-on-one. Ashton Delaughty right here is going to get the win, make a negative play in the backfield for a big tackle. Then in a huge game against Notre Dame, You see Gelati again off on the edge. He's going to win one-on-one, but check the linebacker mugging the center. He fakes as if he's dropping into zone. The center forgets about him, and it's another negative play. They're going to try and get after Kentucky's offense with this aggressive defense.
And at the end of the kickoff return, you want to know what kind of rivalry it is. They wasted no time. A scuffle immediately gets going as they were pushing back Barion Brown. And you'll see at the end here, a couple fists are flying. Flags went up. I believe that was Chris Bell, the backup receiver who plays special teams, who threw a punch, the Louisville special teamer.
After the play was over, personal foul on the kicking team, number 0. Shot to the head. 15-yard penalty will go from the end of the kick. First down.
And that is, they tag Chris Bell. So Kentucky will gain 15 yards.
Well, that didn't take very long.
No, it didn't take very long. 90 minutes before kickoff, they were scuffling, and on the very first moment of the game, they went back to it.
And you know, the emotion is going to be running so high in this game for both of these teams, and I think a big part of it, too, which of these teams can handle those emotions the best? They keep their composure.
Ray Davis off right tackle. Able to gain 4 yards. Ray Davis currently number 4 on the NCAA's active career rushing yards list.
And he's going to need to have a big game. This coaching staff is very aware they have to force feed number 1 the football. They're thinking at minimum 20 carries. Ray Davis has been a home run hitter time and time again. He's come up with explosive runs. And against a very good Louisville front, it's giving up only 98 rushing yards a game. They need Ray Davis to be big.
Devin Leary, 38th start of his career, the quarterback transfer from NC State. 2nd and 6, and Devin Leary's got open space, and Leary past midfield. Excuse me, Ray Davis past midfield, and Davis has gone over 1,000 yards on the season.
Well, they did a nice job pulling the front side guard, and they bring a tight end and Brandon Bates, and they're just trying to get Ray Davis here into the second level. Good patience following the block. He feels the bounce out to the outside where he's able to use his speed.
So Ray Davis, who has been now to his 3rd school, where in his 10 years there, he has gone over 1,000 yards at each school. He's an elite company with what he's been able to do at Kentucky. And this time he is tackled for a loss. That was Ben Perry getting into the backfield against Ray Davis.
Yeah, Ben Perry is coming off the edge. He sort of plays that nickel spot, and they're trying to run away from him, but he shows you the speed. No one accounts for him coming off the edge, and it's a negative play for this Louisville defense.
So it's a loss of 4 yards. Second and 14, Leary. Tried to go quickly to the outside, but threw it short of Dane Key.
That ball got batted at the line of scrimmage. You know, the passing attack for Kentucky all season really has been inconsistent. And I think their game last week against South Carolina was kind of an example of that. Just they left too many plays on the field, missing flea flickers, throwing interceptions in the end zone, balls batted at the line of scrimmage like that one right there. And you just get the feeling to win this game, they're going to need Devin Leary to have to make some plays throwing it on critical down and distances like this third right here.
Third and 14 for Devin Leary. Pressure up the middle, and he is ripped down immediately by Wilson.
And Cameron Wilson's lined up to the right side of the offensive line. He's kind of got 2 defenders over here stacked. He's going to loop inside. There's a little bit of a game. And Kentucky's not there to pick it up. The center, Eli Cox, slow working that way in protection. And Louisville sets up 4th down.
Wilson Barion to punt. Kevin Coleman's the return man, but this is way outside the numbers, and it's going to settle in just inside the 30-yard line. And at the end of that special teams play as well, more scuffling. So we've had 2 special teams plays, and both have finished with the referees and the officials needing to separate these 2 teams. Jack Plummer, his 6th season of college football. He started off his career with Coach Brohm, then went to Cal, and now returns reunited here where he's had the most success.
And Joe, from a physical standpoint, he's not overly impressive. He's got average arm talent. Decision-making has been inconsistent, but Joe, he makes really good decisions, and that's where his experience shows up. He's played a lot of football. He's really good at reading coverage, and generally the ball goes where it's supposed to go.
And he has playmakers surrounding him with Jordan in the backfield. Plummer, they go with the inside screen to Chris Bell. Remember, it was Chris Bell who incurred the penalty to start this game. Alex Safari with the tackle for Kentucky. Jordan with the carry. And just a couple of yards for Jawar Jordan before he was taken down against that very talented front. Silver making the tackle.
2 good plays early for Kentucky's defense. That's pretty impressive, too, because Louisville has been a fast starting offense this year. They've scored touchdowns on their opening drive in fact 5 of the last 6 games. I think Barion Brown, their offensive coordinator, does a really good job scripting the first 8 to 12 plays. They practice throughout the week. They feel like they know the looks they're going to get. Right now, a 3rd and long situation early. It's a good start for Kentucky's D.
Third down and 6. Plummer steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to tuck and run, and he will have the first down out to the 42-yard line.
It's a really nice decision there by Plummer. We were talking about the decision-making earlier. Just crossing routes underneath, nobody open. You see some green grass ahead of you. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he can go get it himself, and he does. And this drive stays alive.
Plummer gets it out quickly. He goes to Thrash, and Thrash past midfield.
Shamari Thrash, a guy that has a hand injury, just had hand surgery a few weeks ago, missed the Virginia Tech game. He's their leading receiver. He's very explosive, but these last 2 games hasn't been overly productive. So that's a good sign for this Louisville offense here early in the game, getting number 1 going.
$11 yards to Thrash. Fakes the short pitch, and Plummer goes ahead and rolls his way for a gain to the 38-yard line.
You know, Jesse, Jeff Brohm says that Thrash has a big old lump on his hand from that surgery where that incision was, so he's wearing a brace to protect it as he continues to recover. Brohm said Thrash hasn't been as big of a difference maker since the surgery, but he applauds him for continuing to go out on the football field and make plays for this team. He says he's giving us everything he has, and we commend him for that.
Lorenzo on 2nd and 1, trying to bounce it, and instead he'll lose yardage as J.J. Weaver came up with the tackle of Isaac Lorenzo.
Well, you've got a 5'11", 180-pound receiver, Kevin Coleman, who's trying to block 6'5", 244 Weaver out here. That's not a very good matchup if you're Louisville offensively. You see Jordan trying to bounce that thing outside, and you got to keep that thing, I think, in between the tackles, understanding what's out there and who your blockers are.
Good play by Weaver defensively. Can they get the stop on 3rd and 1? Jordan straight ahead, and he's wrestled down right near the line of scrimmage by big Deon Walker, maybe the most physically imposing player on the field today.
He has been dominant all season long. He's listed at 6'6", 350 pounds. All year, people cannot block him. Louisville's going to have two guys give it a try. Nobody gets it done, Joe. He's the one guy on the field today that I think starts for Georgia or Alabama. That's how good Deon Walker's been.
4th down and 1. They're 8 of 14 on 4th down this year.
Deon Walker's on the left side. Probably don't go there.
Jordan has it easily, as it took Trevin Wallace to get him from behind, but it's a 1st down for Louisville.
We were just talking about it. You're thinking maybe it's going to be quick. That's Deon Walker. That's the guy you want to go away from. And out to the right-hand side, Nate Kariski at tight end gets a nice seal block, and the drive stays alive for Louisville.
Good job by Austin Collins as an extra offensive lineman as well, getting around that edge. So he's playing right guard right now. 9th play of this drive for Louisville. Plummer on 1st down with time, checks down, threw it a little high for Jordan, who goes ahead in the leg drive, picks up 11 yards.
They're really excited about Jawar Jordan because he's been dealing with some hamstring injuries and some knee injuries these last couple of weeks. But they said this week in practice he looks like his old self again, and he can do this for you. Nothing's open downfield. Just get out 4 yards, turn around on the check down, get north right away, and get what you can get. He's not the biggest running back at 5'10", 185, but he's more physical than his size would indicate.
Plummer on play action. Downfield to the end zone. Incomplete. No flag. The intended receiver was Jimmy Callaway.
It's Jimmy Callaway going down the middle of the field. He's being covered by Andrew Phillips at corner, who's a guy that a lot of offenses have tried to challenge deep. That time in good position. They weren't fooled by the fake toss. And on the back end, very alert for the Wildcats defense.
Plummer gonna run it again. Split defenders and have another 1st down. So Jake Plummer getting it done with his legs.
Well, Jack Plummer is a good enough runner just to force you to honor it defensively. And you've seen examples of that on this first drive already. Scrambles, design QB runs. I don't know if anybody on their bingo card had Jack Plummer toting the rock as much as he had here early in this game.
My formation now with Dwayne Martin in at fullback. Jordan behind that big back as he twists his way inside the 5-yard line before Weaver made the tackle. 9 yards for Jordan.
Well, Dwayne Martin's a 260-pound fullback. That's not normal, and he's going to go lead the way. These pro-style runs, attitude runs, downhill, getting hits in the second level. That time it was Jordan Lovett, the safety, that had to make a business decision. I don't want to be blocked by this guy. I'm just going to kind of try to skirt around him, and it opened up a little crease for Jordan.
2nd and 1 where they go with a big package, including Sylvester, the offensive lineman, wearing number 97. Jordan straight ahead, trying to, ball came out at the end as he reached out, but they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal.
Well, this play is supposed to start off to the right-hand side. There's a little bit of penetration there, so he cut it back. It's that left shoulder down on the ground. The question is, did the ball come out before that left shoulder went down? Mark Stoops calling a timeout. He wants them to take a look at this. I don't blame him.
Rolling on the field is that the runner was down. Zion Childress, starting safety for Kentucky, is slow to get up at the end of this play.
There's Jordan at the end of the run. He kind of runs into J.J. Weaver. It looks like that right elbow hits the ground, but the question is, what was happening to the football in the left hand?
There's the elbow.
The ruling on the field was that he was down,
Correct.
so you need inconclusive video evidence to have to overturn this.
There's the forearm and the elbow down at that moment. With this play officially under review, as the ruling on the field is that the runner was down and it would be first and goal Louisville.
Jordan Lovett gets his hand in right there to knock it out. And did that ball start moving out of his left hand before the right elbow hits the ground? Elbow down. Where's the ball? I don't know if there's enough there to overturn it, Joe.
Which means that it would be first and goal Louisville.
It's really, really tight and really, really close.
After video review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Meanwhile, you can imagine the reaction from Kentucky head coach Mark Stoops. And you can see, that's the universal signal for, hey, we need to slow things down. Perhaps somebody has an injury that would be better.
Yeah, he grabbed his own hamstring.
That's right.
He's like literally giving you a visual demonstration.
Here's what I need.
What you need to do right now so that we can get this play reviewed.
Remember, you have a tender hamstring, somebody on that defensive front.
Now, remember last week against Miami, you talked about that extra offensive lineman, Trevante Sylvester, in the game, number 97. He caught a touchdown pass against the Hurricanes last week. Brian Brahman, offensive coordinator, has been very creative down here in the goal line. You see number 97 there is a big athlete, 280 pounds, transfer out of Houston. He's kind of a big tight end anyway with his build.
So he's in the game on the outside of the right tackle. The big fullback's in the game in front of Jawar Jordan. First and goal. Jordan, with all that beef in front, goes in for a Louisville touchdown on their 14th play of the drive.
Martin, the 260-pound fullback, one-on-one with Trevin Wallace. It's about 240. It's going to be a meeting right here. And Louisville gets the win. They're trying to play you in a phone booth. When they line up with fullbacks and tight ends, they condense the field and they get the angles. But we talked about how Louisville's really prided themselves on being a physical football team, and you see it show up week after week in the run game.
Nick Lopez is the new kicker for Louisville. Came in last week, had success, gets the start this week. That drive went 8 minutes and 19 seconds. Steady, reliable, marching down, and Jawar Jordan bringing it home. 7-zip Cards. Governor's Cup. I think weighs 110 pounds. It's like a weight of a jockey at nearby Churchill Downs. Barion Brown on the return for Kentucky. And Brown weaving his way out to the 28-yard line. 7-zip Louisville. Kentucky's only had 5 plays. They'll be out there on offense when we come back. Kentucky's Ray Davis. He had the single season at Temple with 936, 1,000-yard rusher at Vandy, 1,000-yard rusher now at Kentucky. Did go over 1,000 in his career at Temple, so Katie, quite the career.
Quite the career, but this guy is really hard on himself, and his usage has gone down lately. But Liam Cohen said it's not like he's sitting in the locker room complaining about his usage. Cohen says it's more like he knows he needs to hit his runs, trust the schemes, and trust where he's supposed to go with the ball. Cohen says he thinks Davis has pressed a little bit lately, but they're trying to get him the ball as much as possible today to get him into a nice rhythm early.
Davis going to test that left side. A good pursuit down the line and into the boundary for the Cards.
Okay, Ray Davis has been one of the great surprises of the season. He's a big play waiting to happen. He's got so much ability with vision and quickness and power. He can catch the football and take it the distance. For the majority of the year, he's really been this Kentucky offense. And I've said this all along. Whenever you watch Kentucky play, there's 1 or 2 plays a game where number one does something and you just say, wow. But you're right, he's got to be a more disciplined runner in this game, not run away from where the blocks are, because they need to force feed him the ball.
Leary, incomplete, trying to go over the middle to Key.
And that's a catch that Key needs to make. Part of the reason why the passing attack has just been so inconsistent has been drops at the wide receiver position. Ray Davis picks up the blitz. Leary's got time to throw this. I know that's not out in front of the receiver, but that's one that Dane Key needs to make. And now because of the drop, it sets up 3rd and long against a very good pass rush from Louisville.
On our first drive, Kentucky got to the Louisville 48, ran 2 plays, lost some yards, had to punt. Can they convert a 3rd and 9? Leary, they pick up the pressure, goes downfield, and gets it complete to Brown. Quincy Riley had coverage, and Barion Brown with the big play.
Jarvis Brownlee's coming off the edge on a blitz. Ray Davis picks this up and stones it, and that's what gives Devin Leary an opportunity to throw a perfect back shoulder throw to Barion Brown. Working against Louisville's best corner, Quincy Riley, there is no defense for a perfect throw, and that was phenomenal execution. You get a drop from Dane Key, the play previously, and then perfect execution by all 11 guys on that one.
25-yard reception for Brown. They go jet here. This is Brown now. Look at him high-stepping. Little Dion shuffle as he strides out for 10.5 yards.
I like it, though, and they can do that, too, with his speed and his explosive nature. They get him going in the jet game. They get him going in the reverse game, too. Everybody on defense is keying in on number 1 in the backfield, but if you time the jet right like they did there, you can find some positive yardage handing off to Barion Brown.
Good-looking drive for Kentucky. Can they cash in? Reverse. Back to Leary downfield. And incomplete as he was trying to connect with Brendan Bates.
They're trying to double pass into the boundary. Brendan Bates at tight ends trying to block and block and block and then release on a wheel route. But Louisville played that really, really well. Devin Neal at safety, number 27. You're going to see him here on the left side. He doesn't get fooled, and he runs with the tight end down the boundary. Help break this play up. It's a high point. It's one certainly Brendan Bates would like to have back. A little trickeration early from Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator, Kentucky.
Davis surges ahead before he's met by Ben Perry.
These 3rd downs all year have been tough against Louisville. They've been so good. And we talk about those bare fronts and how they like to mug the line of scrimmage. Right now, coming into the game, they're giving up 29% on 3rd down, 11th best in the country. They try to confuse your schemes up front in pass protection. That's part of their success. They've got guys like Ashton Gelati who can get after you and win those one-on-ones. This is a big play early in the game.
Third and 7. Leary pressured right away and brought down by Gelati.
This is a bad job at pass protection up front because the right guard and right tackle don't touch anybody. Burton and Flax just let him right here run right through the middle. They're thinking 5 guys are coming. Louisville only brings 3, and somehow nobody blocks the guy that has 10 sacks coming into the game.
Jeremy Flax barely got a finger on him. Best defensive lineman for Louisville comes in free on a critical down. And that'll be the end of the first quarter as Ashton Gelati gets the sack to shut the door on that drive. ESPN College Football presented by Dayquil returns after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Coach Stoops, you were just having a conversation with your offense. What were you telling them?
Well, I was talking with our offensive line. We're having some protection breakdowns that there's no excuse for.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Well, they're having problems. We talked about this bare front, some of these mug looks on 3rd down. It's a bit foreign. It's something that they don't see very, very often, but they've been practicing for it all week, and early in this first quarter, it's just not good enough to allow guys running free into your backfield, hitting your quarterback.
Wilsonberry on to punt after the sack by Gelati. Coleman, return man, calls for the fair catch at the 8-yard line for Louisville. Rivalry week continues tonight on ESPN at 7 o'clock. It'll be Florida State taking on Florida. And at 7:30 right here on ABC, #1 Georgia against Georgia Tech. I'm sure every time you see that promo of Florida State, Florida, flashbacks to your college days.
Man, back in the late 90s, a time where Seminoles went to 3 straight national championships. There was so much speed and so much NFL talent on the field and so many fights.
But like we've had today.
Like we've had today. It's happening all over the country today.
Garendo catches a good hole as he brings it out to the 15-yard line.
Izayah Cummings is a transfer from Wisconsin. He just looks like a Badger back, right? Just kind of at home running between the tackles. He sees a crease in the zone scheme, puts his foot in the ground, and gets up the field. We talked about how Jawar Jordan has been a bit banged up lately. These last 3 games, Garendo has been on fire, averaging 10 yards a carry. And he scored 5 TDs these last 3 times out.
It's a good stretch for him. 2nd and 3. He gets the work again. Met at the line by Deion Walker.
People his size are just not supposed to move as well as he does. He's like a big giant cat. He's so explosive out of his stance. You can ask South Carolina about this. Last week, the big fella had 9 tackles and a sack. I mean, he's the definition of a game record.
He had 9 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a sack in that game against South Carolina. 3rd down and 3. Plummer to pass. Was batted at the line of scrimmage as the ball falls harmlessly. So that defensive front for Kentucky.
I think that time the ball, I don't know if it was batted, Joe. I think it just slipped out of Plummer's hand as he was throwing it. It looked like he kind of wanted to kind of pull it back, and the ball just kind of came out. But finally something going Kentucky's way here, and that's good news. Their 3rd down struggles last week against South Carolina were a big reason why they lost that football game, and forcing a punt, hoping to get the ball back near midfield here. This is big for Kentucky's momentum.
Hodges has his heels on the goal line. Robinson with chance for great field position for Kentucky as he calls for the scatter at the 50-yard line, and it is down just over midfield. A good job by the Kentucky defense. We'll give their offense the ball when we return here at Louisville.
Back to Tess and Jesse.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. So Jefferson met in the backfield and just tries to work his way back to the line of scrimmage. The college football playoff rankings are brought to you by Capital One.
Yeah, and rivalry week, it really just sets up for some chaos. Of course, either Ohio State or Michigan is going to drop out of the top 4 after today. And the Florida State game, without Jordan Travis, a quarterback at the Swamp against the Gators, that gets interesting. But we've seen crazy stuff happen on this weekend, year in and year out. So important for every team taking the field today. You got to be thinking about finishing.
Leary on 2nd and 10. Batted up in the air and incomplete. Alderman had a chance at it.
Well, it was Mason Reiger who got his paw up and knocked that one down. We've seen Devin Leary time and time again get passes deflected at the line of scrimmage. Look off from the right-hand side. Reiger's there working against Jeremy Flax. Ball gets popped up, and TJ Quinn, or Jalen Alderman, the linebacker, was reaching out trying to get that interception.
And he's still down on the turf. The medical team is out to see Jalen Alderman, and with that, we'll take a quick timeout. Student sections across the country competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. You can download that Taco Bell app and learn more about that. This student section has joined the home wins lately. 6-0 at home is Louisville.
This is where Kentucky's O-line has got to be better, Joe. They've given up 2 sacks on 3rd down so far.
3rd and 10 for Devin Leary and the Cats. Goes shallow underneath and then up and over for the 1st down.
What an effort by Kamari Anderson there on the drag route. Remember, Kentucky's down their top 2 tight ends in this game. You see 82 working the drag. Devin Leary does a nice job stepping up a bit. And how about the athleticism going up and over, understanding where the sticks are. That is a huge third down conversion, or sorry, a big play on third down early in this game.
Anderson getting the reception as Jordan Dingle, Josh Caddis are both out injured today. Jefferson gets the carry.
He's really come on for Kentucky's offense these last 2 games as well. He's a 7th-year player, had a knee injury late last season, so was granted the extra eligibility. 74-yard run against Bama late in that game, and he's given this offense a little bit of a spark. Probably doesn't have the top-end speed that Ray Davis does, but we talked about disciplined running and going where the ball is supposed to go and following your blockers. And that's something that Jefferson's been doing very well these last few weeks.
Had a 74-yard run in the 4th quarter against Bama. Second and 6. Jefferson straight ahead, and he will move the chains and give a little extra fight inside the 30, where he's met by Storm Duck.
Great job by Jeremy Flax, the right tackle. He's just going to cave in this D-line right here. They get the block, and that allows Jefferson to get up. You see this big blue wall. They're physical. They weigh a lot. They can lean on you. And they're going to have to do more of that. They thought coming into this one, they really wanted to test out Louisville's front. They don't know if they've seen an offensive line as physical as them yet. They wanted to see if that could get demonstrated in this game. That's a good example there.
3 Kentucky drives now. They've gotten into Louisville territory, but still looking for the first points of the day. Play action. Leary gets it complete inside the 15-yard line as he's able to connect with Dane Key.
And a really good job that time of protection. There was a beautiful pocket here for Devin Leary to throw from. He can step up, he can get through his progressions, allow this slow developing route on the crossing route to happen. Remember, Dane Key dropped a pass similar to this earlier on a dig. This time, puts it right on his chest. Devin Leary doesn't give him a choice.
16-yard reception by Key. Leary, quick strike to the outside. And Robinson is taken down at the 8-yard line.
This is a place, Joe, Louisville's defense has been so good this year. They're only allowing points on 67% of their opponents' red zone drives. That's second best in the country. They get really, really good when their backs are up against the wall, and right down a mass substitution for Louisville defensively, getting fresh bodies on the field, especially at D-line.
Jefferson can't find anything. Excellent pursuit by Louisville up front. Quincy Riley was the first to get to him.
Now it's third down, and this is where it's really difficult to throw the football because at this area of the field, the windows are tiny, and they open and close really, really fast. So for Devin Leary and these receivers, the timing has got to be critical. You cannot hesitate. You got to be able to anticipate throws. Big moment in the game.
Leary, 3rd and 6 to the end zone. What an effort to come up with it. Dane Key.
And that's a great example of anticipation by Devin Leary. He throws this ball way before Dane Key up top is running the fade. Freeze it right there. Look at this. That is a tremendous job pre-snap, understanding where he's going to go with the football, and how about the location of that throw? Putting it out in front of the 6'3" target, who time and time again this year has been able to use his size to his advantage. Big body slants, stick routes, and now the fade. You just simply cannot execute that play any better than what Kentucky did right there.
Alex Rayner on for the extra point. That'll tie the game. And Kentucky was knocking on the door a few times with their drives. They finally break through with Dane Key, 7-7 in this rivalry game.
Kentucky's Deion Walker is considered by many to be a future first-round draft pick, so I asked him to build me the perfect defensive end. And here's what he had to say. When it comes to body and frame, he said Calais Campbell is built big like him, so he appreciates his ability to move at that size. Walker said for handwork and footwork, look no further than Micah Parsons. His technique, he says, is textbook. He loves the physicality of Myles Garrett. He has a relentless pursuit, and when it comes to twitch and burst, no surprise here, he selected Aaron Donald. And even though he was not a linebacker, Walker said if you can have a Ray Lewis-like mentality, you'll find success at every level. Jesse, I can't imagine you want any of these guys, including Deion Walker, coming after you.
No, I would develop an injury before the game if I was getting ready to play a guy that was any way, shape, or form a combination of any of that. You're right, Katie. This guy is a very, very special talent. A diamond in the rough that Mark Stoops and his coaching staff were able to find out of the Detroit area. And boy, man, that has really paid off for their defense.
Berendo from the 5-yard line on the return. And it's a good return by Berendo as he keeps his balance out past the 40-yard line. Tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, all access with Mahomes and Stroud mic'd up, and top plays from backyard turkey bowls across the country. It's 10 Eastern on ESPN. Monday Night Football's Bears and Vikings, 8 Eastern on ESPN and ABC.
Joe, you know the Bears have lost 12 straight against division opponents.
Wow.
Justin Fields coming back from the dislocated thumb on his throwing hand. Looked pretty good his last time out, throwing and running. Should be a fun one to watch.
Jordan almost got to the corner, but was chased down that time by Wallace.
If we're talking about Deion Walker, Joe, he's only a true sophomore.
Yes.
He's not draft eligible yet, but you know in today's era of college football with the portal, everybody is going to be coming for this guy this offseason. And Mark Stoops and his coaching staff are very aware they're going to have to scratch and claw and re-recruit to keep this guy in a Kentucky uniform.
And they're the ones that did everything right. They recruited him, they found him, they've developed him, and they've coached him to be an all-SEC player, and now you got to hope to retain him.
You know, guys, I found it interesting. Walker told me he got up to 360 pounds last season, so dropping weight was his focus this offseason. He said he wanted to be able to play extended drives, 14, 15-play drives, so he could stay in and help his team. He lost 30 pounds conditioning twice a day. He cleaned up his diet. He says he's playing at 332 right now, feels really good, and Brad White said you can see how nimble he is on his feet. Dropping that weight was huge.
Just made that last tackle. Brad White says when he's at his best, he is the best defensive lineman in the country. 3rd down and 3. Plummer wants more than 3, and he's able to get it to Coleman. Flag is down at the 32-yard line. Andrew Phillips had coverage against Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman's out with slot, working the corner route. Does a nice job stacking and getting over top, and nice job too by Plummer, putting a lot of air
on the
under
defense
that.
prior to the pass being thrown. That penalty is declined, resulting play as a first down.
So Plummer's dropping back, and he knows where he wants to go with it, and he's got to put air under this thing to allow his receiver to locate it. You see the fighting that was going on downfield, one-on-one. You see that great release, a little bit of a tug there on the jersey by Phillips, and it's an explosive play for Louisville's offense.
29 yards to Coleman. Play action. Plummer pressured as he throws it, and it goes incomplete. And guess who? Big Deion Walker, and you see the effect he has on Plummer.
Well, Deion Walker's working one-on-one against the center, Brian Hudson, and it's really, it's not a fair matchup. You see that, just be able to kind of shrug him off. He gets home, and any quarterback, man, you got a 350-pound person who's listed at 350 falling on top of you. That's not going to feel good.
Explosive, disruptive, dominating defensive lineman is Walker. 2nd and 10. Jordan, nowhere to go. Tackled for a loss by De'Aaron Jackson.
You know, it's amazing, too, Joe.
Flag is down at the end of the play. See the frustrations with Maxwell Hairston, the cornerback for Kentucky.
There was some fighting going on with Hairston and a receiver.
Chris Bell.
Yeah.
Chris Bell, who threw a punch on the opening kickoff of this game and was penalized.
During the play, personal foul, illegal hands to the face on the offense number 7. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
It's not quite Charles Woodson versus David Boston back in 1997, but I mean, it was a little bit of that. It's Hairston at corner going up against Chris Bell, and exchanging pleasantries.
Chris Bell's been in the middle of a lot today.
Yeah, he's feeling it.
So it's 2nd and 25 after the 15-yard penalty. Only the 2nd flag of the game, both against Louisville.
Well, we talked about how in games like this, you've got to be able to handle and control your emotions. The coaching staff for Louisville, Jeff Brom, they've got to get Chris Bell under control.
The penalty is enforced from the previous spot. It is 2nd down.
Coach Brom, 52 years old, of course a legend here. Came back home, and that fit has been just about perfect. Patchworking this team with 25 transfers and sitting here at 10-1, going to play for the ACC championship. Plummer on 2nd and 25. Just trying to extend the play. And then runs out after a gain of 2 yards.
All right, so here's another big 3rd down now for this Kentucky defense. We talked about South Carolina. There was 4 critical 3rd and longs that they gave up. That was a big reason why they ended up losing that game. They have to find ways to get off the field. In this situation, you just wonder for Louisville if it's kind of no man's land. If you don't get it here, you're going for it anyway on 4th. They don't necessarily have to throw to the sticks here if they're intending to go for it.
23, 3-man rush. They drop 8. They do go underneath. It's a minimal gain as he hits Kariski.
But it makes 4th down a lot more manageable now if that's in fact what you're going to do. And they've had some things happening here at kicker the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Travelstead was the starting kicker. Last week at Miami, he was replaced in the 2nd half, and now they will bring him out for this attempt. Nick Lopez came in the 2nd half last week and earlier today. So Travelstead gets a chance at redemption. 46-yard attempt. Great rotation, and a target line kick breaks the tie. So Coach Brom brings Brock back in, and he puts it right through. 10-7, number 10, Louisville. Watching the ACC on ESPN from here at L&N Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. Number 10, Louisville, up 10-7 against Kentucky. Barion Brown from the end zone on the return. Brown, full throttle, out past the 30, and spinning his way to the 33-yard line. Aflac trivia question. We ask you, both Kentucky and Louisville, Jesse, they have a quarterback in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Who are they?
Johnny Unitas.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean, you got the statue.
That's the obvious one. His name is right in front of me here in the stage. Right beside Lamar Jackson's. Do you know who the Kentucky Hall of Fame QB is? Joe.
I think I got a shot if we go way back in time.
All right.
Devin Leary, man in his face as he delivers and is able to get it to Bates.
This is fantastic by Devin Leary. Under duress, he's got Jared Dawson right in his face. And a tight end on a crossing route that has to work around a defender. You want to talk about under duress throwing into a small window. Devin Leary, I know he got off to a slow start in this game, but these last 2 drives now, he has really found a beautiful rhythm.
Leary, off play action, plenty of time, threw it into traffic looking for Brown, but Riley was closing on it.
Well, I think Leary's success here in these last 2 drives is changing Liam Cohen's approach to calling this game, where they're not running the football like they thought they would on first down, instead throwing it on first down because they trust Devin Leary in his decision-making. That last one almost got away from him. But it's so important for Liam Cohen in this offense. They still need to have balance. They know they have to establish the run, no doubt, and be physical. But Louisville has to be afraid of their ability to throw it up top. And this play action right now is starting to open things up a little bit for the Wildcats.
Interesting to see Liam Cohen down on the sideline, usually up in the press box as the offensive coordinator. Tackled for a loss is Ray Davis. Brought down immediately as that offensive line gave way to Dawson again.
Yeah, I think it's Jared Dawson inside, a D tackle, just getting tremendous push inside here. Penetration, Ray Davis never had a chance. That negative play now setting up 3rd down. This is where Louisville likes to mug a linebacker right over top of the center and cover everybody and bring the pressure.
Ron English, the defensive coordinator, his Cards defense with 5 tackles for loss. Third and 12. Leary pressured again, has to check down to Davis, and Davis only able to get a few yards back against Storm Duck, who forced him out.
Cameron Wilson got early pressure and it forced the ball out of Devin Leary's hands early. Louisville in a big defense, making sure they just keep the ball in front. They rally to Ray Davis to make a tackle and force the punt.
Timeout is going to be used by Louisville. As to the Aflac trivia question, got to go back in time just a little bit. You knew Johnny Unitas, the Hall of Fame quarterbacks. But who's the other one? George Blanda.
Wow.
George Blanda, who played for Bear Bryant back in the day.
It was a legendary punter.
He was.
Or a kicker for the Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raiders,
There's
right?
Johnny U there.
You can tell who that is just based on the haircut.
Yeah, the haircut says it all.
Yeah.
Listen, this has been a very interesting year for Louisville, and I think it's a team that they get some come from behind wins.
Yeah.
They start believing, and because of that, you play better and better and better.
I think from an eye test standpoint, when you've watched Louisville play too, you wouldn't say they've been consistently
no doubt.
dominant all year by far. But at the end of the day, you got to give them credit because good teams find ways to win games. And I think you're right, Joe. As the season's gone on and they've found those ways, the confidence has just continued to build.
Barry punting for Kentucky. Coleman's the return man. Ball is inside the 5, and it bounces into the end zone. 2.5 minutes to go before halftime. 3-point margin here for the Governor's Cup.
A look at Florida State getting ready for Florida at the Swamp. Jesse knows all about that matchup. Back to you guys.
Well, I'll tell you, Kevin Boog looking good, especially Boog after eating oxtails roasted whole with the dressing for Thanksgiving dinner. He said it was phenomenal.
In Bristol?
No, come on now. Guerrero dragged down from behind. I figured Boogie would be about plus 15, but he looks good. He's getting on the Peloton the next day after that.
This is a big opportunity here for Louisville's offense, too. Nice play by Jordan Lovett making a tackle, but you know Louisville's going to get the ball first here in the second half, and they would love nothing more than to drive the field, eat up clock, score some points going into halftime. They've got 2 tight ends in their back pocket at this point, so lots of time. That's their intention.
Here's Plummer on 2nd and 11. Right at that line to gain, depending on the mark as he connects with Thompson.
The thing I love about Jack Plummer is that he just throws to the open guy. Their passing offense doesn't all go to Jamari Thrash because he's their leading receiver. They let Plummer make the decisions based on what the coverage is.
Quickly to the outside on 3rd and 1 as Huggins-Bruce gets the reception.
You got to get out of bounds. At this point in a 2-minute situation, if you're Huggins-Bruce, you got to understand the situation, have the awareness, try and save clock.
2 timeouts remaining for Louisville.
Louisville had a late substitution, so now they're giving Kentucky the opportunity to do it as well, but they're taking their time, and it's taking seconds off the clock.
Plummer goes underneath to Thrash, and Thrash goes ahead for 9 yards.
I think the sense of urgency now for Louisville has to pick up a little bit. Got to get going quickly, get the call made, everybody get lined up, get this thing snapped.
2nd down and 1.
2 timeouts remain for Louisville. Plummer going to check down to Guerrero, and Guerrero will go out after picking up the first down. 42 seconds remaining in the half.
So for Brock Travelstead, the kicker, hit a 53-yarder against NC State. That ended up being the game winner. That was a school record. So you're thinking if you're Louisville, you probably got to get somewhere near Kentucky's 36-yard line to get a crack like that.
Struggled last week against Miami, missed a 25-yarder, an extra point, came back really well in the first half today, nailing a 46-yarder. Will he get a chance here? Plummer again tried to go underneath to Guerrero, but it's incomplete. 38 seconds remaining.
Second and 10.
There is Travelstead. His first year as the full-time place kicker. Plummer's going to run it. 2 timeouts remain. Doesn't get much on 2nd and 10 as he's met by Jackson staying at home.
And that was a designed run for Plummer. He didn't just do that on his own. That was like an RPO option with Guerrero as a lead blocker.
Because of that, they have to use a timeout, as they will have 1 remaining. We'll be back in 8 seconds. Now a look from Ram Trucks. Jack Plummer trying to bring his team in position to get one final score. It's very interesting in discussing things with Coach Brom with Plummer because he talks about his experience, his smarts, but being a streaky quarterback.
Yeah.
The thing is, he coached him before, so they want somebody who had familiarity with the offense.
Which is a huge thing today in the portal market when it comes to quarterbacks, right? It's really difficult, obviously, to establish chemistry with your teammates and put yourself in a position of leadership. But when you know the scheme offensively, the learning curve obviously is a lot shorter, and that's shown up week in and week out. You can tell by the decisions that Jack Plummer makes. He feels very, very comfortable in this Brom offense.
1 timeout for Louisville. 3rd and 6. Trying to get upfield is Callaway, but he is wrestled down and dragged back as Callaway was met by Phillips and Childress.
Really good game tackle there. You see a lot of hats getting to the football. Childress there, Andrew Phillips the first one to get a hold on him. Because their initial throw's not there. They're trying to work the slant. It's called slant with spacing. It's a West Coast offense concept, throwing the ball. He works all the way to his 4th read, which is the swing route to the running back, but a nice job. And you see the speed of Kentucky's defense going sideline to sideline.
And now Kentucky will use the first of their 3 timeouts in this half. 10 seconds remaining before we get to Kevin and Booger, everything going on in the day so far of college football. As for college basketball, Tuesday on ESPN, ACC-SEC Challenge at 7:30 Eastern. Number 10 Miami taking on 16th ranked Kentucky. And then the nightcap will be Clemson against number 17 Alabama. Kentucky leads this all-time series 19-15. They started playing all the way back in 1912, and then things went dormant after the 1924 season. And then the early 90s, Coach Schnellenberger, local government officials, everybody got together and said, we got to get this going. Here we go. And now you got the Governor's Cup played with such intensity. Hodges on to punt. Let this go into the end zone.
Punt goes into the end zone for a touchback.
Louisville's pass rush has been dominant early in this game. Really impressed with their ability to win one-on-one up front. You see Cameron Wilson getting a big hit there. Of course, Ashton Gulati with the sack. He's got 2 in this game already. Some of the looks have been confusing for Kentucky up front. Guys have been getting their hands up, batting balls down, and it's been very difficult for Devin Leary to ever feel very comfortable. Very seldomly have we seen him with a clean pocket to throw into. That's going to be a big key in the second half. It's been a struggle for Kentucky running the football here early, and this offensive line, the big blue wall, they have their challenge set out in front of them here in the second half.
We mentioned the struggle running the ball. Kentucky only with 17 rushing yards in that first half against that Louisville front. Only 98 total yards. Did have the touchdown to Dane Key. But this Louisville team, they have found a way week after week. 10-1, top 10 in the country, headed to the ACC championship game. Katie.
Thanks, Tess. Coach Brom, you scored on your first 8-minute drive of the game. How would you assess your offense's play since?
Well, I'd like to be a little more efficient. That's a good defense we're going against, and we just got to be better running the ball. They're stuffing us up the middle. We probably got to get to the outside and hit some shots in the passing game, and then we got to be good on defense.
Emotions run high in rivalry games. You've had some untimely penalties. Anything you'll say to the group?
Well, we addressed it before, so just really silly penalties that are useless and not called for. So we can't have that. We got to get it fixed.
Thank you.
That's how the game opened up, with a penalty. The intensity, the fiery of the battle for the Governor's Cup. Capital One halftime report is still to come after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. The CX90, and what a rivalry it always is, the battle for the Governor's Cup, where the top 10 Louisville Cardinals have a 10-7 lead against Kentucky. And I think both defenses have played exceptionally well. You consider star running backs on each side, and yet it's Jack Plummer, the quarterback, who's the leading
rusher for Louisville. Who would have thought, right? You do have to be impressed. I think you're right with both defenses, how physical they're being right now at the point of attack. Ray Davis from Kentucky averaging just 2.5 yards a carry right now. Louisville running backs have 12 carries for only 31 yards.
Wow.
So as you spin it ahead here in the second half, you get the feeling the team that runs the ball the best probably has the best chance of winning this game.
Both coaching staffs were stressing that in order also to get the passing games eventually going. But both defensive lines have been sensational here. Of course, Louisville already has a spot in the ACC championship locked up. It's been a choppy season for Kentucky against an exceptionally difficult schedule. But this would matter most to erase all of that, a win against their rivals.
It goes into the end zone.
And for Kentucky's defense, Deion Walker, their superstar, has been as advertised. So disruptive up front. He's been splitting double teams. He's been winning one-on-ones. He's been living in Louisville's backfield all game long. And there's just so little you can do against a guy of that size and that quickness. Moving forward, calling plays, Barion Brown for Louisville is going to have to be really smart about thinking about launch points of where he wants Jack Plummer throwing the football, and you need quick hitting runs to account for big number 0. He's a guy you want to run away from.
Jordan, as he gets upfield quickly near the 30-yard line.
Well, there's an example of running away from him. In fact, they decide not even to block him that time. You know, you can't do it when when you're trying anyway. So let's just go over this side. Just run away from big numbers here. He still almost gets there to make a tackle anyway, but it's better that guy going sideline to sideline, east and west. You don't want that guy pinning his ears back and getting after you in the backfield.
Jordan went for 5 yards as he will go straight ahead and pick up the remaining 5 yards.
There's such a volume of run plays in this Louisville offense. You see it all, Joe. You see zone, you see them pulling guys, jets and reverses. We've seen the quarterback run. They've got a lot of different things they can throw at you. A lot of pro formation type runs as well.
They're going to mark him just an inch short here.
I don't think he got it. Setting up 3rd and short.
And big Trevante Sylvester comes in, the offensive lineman who will put on jersey number 97 as the extra offensive lineman eligible receiver. Remember, had a big catch last week against Miami. And he's trying to get the push is Plummer, and he does so for 2 yards in the first down.
I think it's a good sign for Louisville, too. We talked about their ability and their need to get the run game established. Jeff Brown told Katie that about halftime. 3 plays now, you've seen this offensive line, jerseys in red, they're kind of firing off. Yep. They're really going after Kentucky here, just downhill runs. Runs with attitude.
Jerseys in red, we got everything in red here. We got the shoes, the socks, pants, helmets. You like the all red?
I'm actually a fan of like what UCLA and USC do when everybody wears the home jerseys. I wish we would do that.
Here's the jet action with Coleman as Coleman makes a man miss, and we'll have a first down for Louisville.
Well, it's a lot to have to deal with. We were just talking about the amount of schemes that Barion Brown and his coaching staff throw at you. It's a lot for Kentucky's defense to have to prepare for, and you've seen some downhill hard hitters, and all of a sudden you're getting receivers like Coleman, the transfer from Jackson State, on the jet sweep. Jawar Jordan out in front getting a block on linebacker De'Eric Jackson, and 4 straight plays, 4 straight runs here for Louisville.
Now you go from that jet action to I formation with the fullback Dwayne Martin in the game. Play action off of it. Plummer goes ahead and slides down.
And there's an example of the experience from Plummer, right? Guy's not open. There's no hesitation. I'm just taking off, and I'm just going to simply get what I can get. I know this isn't going to be a 50-yard touchdown run, but it's going to help this drive, and it's going to help keep this 3rd down manageable if we don't get it right here.
Both Jordan and Garendo, the backs in the game here on 2nd and 6. They run option. Pitch to Jordan. Jordan can't find much of anything as Andrew Phillips made the tackle.
That's impressive by Kentucky because the speed option has been this little wrinkle that Louisville's been using to catch defenses off guard. Kentucky was not fooled by that at all. And again, extracurricular activity after the play. Mark Stoops looks like he wants to get involved.
But you just brought up the varied run scheme. You saw everything there. You get the jet motion. You get the I formation. This is the end of the play after the speed option.
Yeah, there's a hit coming in there late by Zion Childress. Into the bench, and, you know, some pleasantries exchanged. Happy Thanksgiving. How you doing? Did you make it over to Jack Fry's? Did you get a Sunergos coffee? Enjoy.
You should have gone to 610 Magnolia last night with our table, huh?
Pretty good.
3rd and 6. Plummer. Far side complete to Chris Bell. First down Cards.
What a great job of anticipation by Jack Plummer. Octavius Oxendine's running a game in a stunt. He's going to come free right into the kitchen of Jack Plummer, but he's able to anticipate and throw the comeback route outside long before Chris Bell turned around to look for this. 6 years of college football Jack Plummer has played. He never even flinched. Tremendous toughness and a great execution throw.
Jordan able to turn that corner and get a few extra yards. What an interesting career it's been for Jack Plummer. His 3rd college football program he's played for. Played the 2022 season at Cal after starting his first part of his career at Purdue. Then last year did have success. And then listen, the transfer portal offers an opportunity to reunite with his original coaching staff, and then a week ago. 300-yard passing game, 3 touchdowns with the win at Miami.
I'd argue he's been one of the best quarterback portal additions this season of any team.
Second for Jordan. Another chain mover, tackled by Weaver.
You know, Tess, Plummer will tell you he never envisioned playing 6 years of college football, or for 3 schools for that matter. But he says he's proud he stuck with it because he loves this game so much. He says he's still so passionate about it. He said all he wanted to do as a little kid was play college football. So to still be living his dream, he says makes him be extremely proud.
How great is this, Katie, too? Not only did he transfer, he went somewhere, and his team is playing in the ACC championship game. He's had a big part to do with that all season long. It's been a phenomenal story.
Barendo able to get a couple stiff arms and extra yardage as he rode out De'Aaron Jackson.
We've seen a couple of examples of runs not being there inside and Louisville running backs bouncing it to the outside, trying to use their speed and find green grass. Deion Walker and all those big bodies from Kentucky right now, they're dominating in the A-gaps. So Louisville now trying to find some room to run on the outside.
Longest Louisville drive since their first drive of this game. 11th play coming up, 2nd and 4. Barendo changes direction, and it works out well. Inside the 10, inside the 5, 1st and goal Louisville.
He did a great job of avoiding Keaton Wade that time. He was crashing in. Nobody blocked him. Barendo did it himself. Crash, makes him skip, and then gets outside. It's one-on-one with the safety, Jordan Lovett. This has been a good-looking drive for Louisville. They've done the majority of the work on the ground.
First and goal. Barendo straight ahead, and he hit that wall.
This has been a big key to their success, right? You go back to the coin toss. 10 times this year, they've won the toss, deferred. Defense comes on the field. They don't give up any points. They get the ball first in the second half. They drive the field and score.
Second and goal. Jack Harlow and all these Louisville fans right in the back of that end zone where the Cards are marching to. Barendo again, and this time struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good run fit by Kentucky. You saw Trevin Wallace and the rest of that front 7 doing the job.
Yeah, Trevin Wallace did a nice job of just finding a crease. He was able to skip in the backfield, and again, not an easy defense to run at between the tackles because of all those big bodies. So what do you do here if you're Jeff Brom?
Third and goal. Play action. Plummer pumps, trying to turn the corner himself, and he is met and stopped. That was Zion Childress coming up to meet Plummer.
Well, it was a great job by Plummer, pump faking Maxwell Hairston to keep it alive. It looked like for a moment he might be able to get to the pylon, but how about Childress and his speed? The captain on defense making a huge stop, and it looks like Louisville's going to go.
4th and goal. Jordan, can he get there? Pushes through and in. Jawar Jordan on 4th down, and Harlow's loving it.
Austin Collins, the right guard, only 290 pounds. Got a nice block on Deion Walker right here, kind of caving him inside. He gives up about 60 pounds to Walker, but good physical play right in the interior of the line. And a gamble by Jeff Brom on 4th down pays off.
Been switching up the kickers today. Travelstead made the 46-yard field goal. Lopez has been in on extra points, and he looks to cap this drive. And it was 15 plays, and it occupied over 9 minutes with a 4th down touchdown run. 17-7. Ooh. Well, Louisville and Florida State are going to meet up for the ACC championship, and the ACC network is going to have you covered. Friday gets started with the huddle at 3 Eastern. Saturday, the ACC huddle at 6. The Command Center broadcast of the championship game at 8. And then the ACC huddle is back after the game for all your championship post-game coverage. This poor guy, I mean, he ended up in the wrong section. And that guy right there has provided 2 touchdown runs for Louisville. The last coming on 4th down. Ward Jordan made it a 17-7 game. Brown's going to take it out from the end zone. And it's a good decision. Barion Brown. Well, now how's that Kentucky fan feeling? Mighty good. 100-yard touchdown return for Brown. He's done it again. Third time in his career that Brown has brought it all the way. And boy, did they need that. The perfect response. After a Louisville drive that took up over 9 minutes. All it takes is a few seconds to respond. Barion Brown. I don't have a problem taking it out of the end zone. Not when you got jets like this. Full striding all the way. And this rivalry just heats up even hotter. 3-point game again.
ABC College Football, presented by Dayquil, is brought to you by Ram Trucks, America's best light-duty pickup for new vehicle quality.
Jess, my man said, I'm stuck in the middle of this Louisville section, but you know what? I'm putting L's down after the 100-yard kickoff.
You got to take advantage of your opportunities and your windows.
17-14 here in the battle for the Governor's Cup. Number 10 Louisville with still a chance. I know there's got to be some special things that happen, but still a chance for the college football playoff, and it's not as much chaos as you think. And now Garendo gets his opportunity on the kickoff return. And Garendo gets a good one as well. Isaac Garendo out to midfield. We got 150 yards in kickoff returns back-to-back.
Let's go back to the touchdown and 2 key blocks by Kentucky tight ends, Justin Dingle and Brendan Bates. First block right here. Second block, Bates getting a pancake, and that creates the crease for Barion Brown to get through. He's going to play in the NFL, Joe, not just because of what he can do as a receiver, but special teams. That's his 3rd career kickoff return to the house. So many different ways he can hurt you. But after that big, long return by Garendo now, Louisville set up in great field position.
And Garendo will take it off right tackle, and Garendo will turn the corner. Boy, he has really come on in recent weeks, hasn't he?
This is one of those pull schemes that Louisville likes to use. That time, Michael Gonzalez, the left guard, he's able to pull all around, and he's able to seal an edge, and that allows Garendo to get to the outside. Nice athleticism up front from the big fellas of Louisville. And we've seen these last 2 drives now attacking the perimeter in the run game.
Maxwell Hairston, starting corner for Kentucky, came off the field after that last play. Setting up the screen, Garendo with blockers in front, another first down, cuts back, and has the ball inside the 15-yard line before Weaver tackled.
It was such a good job. Louisville's O-line invited Kentucky's pass rush up the field. They were able to sneak in Garendo behind, and then the big bodies getting downfield. The screen game all year for Louisville has looked really, really good. And number 23, the Wisconsin transfer, Garendo, these last 4 games has been a monster in this Louisville offense.
21 yards on the reception. Plummer with plenty of time, checks down to Garendo. Makes another man miss and then rolls his way to the 11.
Just smart play by Plummer. Touchdowns or checkdowns. When you get down into the red zone, this area of the field, no point trying to force the football into traffic against the Kentucky defense that has 14 takeaways on the year, that's been opportunistic on the back end. Just check it down and live to play another day.
Jordan, he is met at the line of scrimmage. It was Childress with the tackle, combining with Silver as well.
You mentioned Maxwell Harrison coming off the field for Kentucky's defense a minute ago, Joe. You could argue he's been the MVP of this Kentucky defense all season long.
Breaks second nationally in interception.
Yeah, he's got 5 and also has 60 tackles. He's a guy they need on the field right now in this type of situation, with Louisville throwing the football.
3rd and 7 for Jack Plummer and the Cards. 3-man rush. And caught by his Big Ten, and Gatewood reaching forward. Touchdown Louisville. Joey Gatewood with the extra effort scores it.
It's a really nice play design. They've got Garendo at running back running a flat, and he actually takes 2 Kentucky defenders with him. And that's going to open a hole in behind for the former Kentucky quarterback, Joey Gatewood. It's a good read by Plummer, and the kickoff return by Garendo really set him up at midfield, but the 2 first drives for the Cardinals here in the second half go the distance, and they score touchdowns.
See that Kentucky defender underneath, so Gatewood, his body never touched the turf, and he was smart to reach out that ball across the goal line. And just when Kentucky answered, just when Kentucky said, hold on, we're not going to give way with momentum, the 100-yard kickoff return, a spectacular response by Louisville, both special teams and offense.
Well, we talked about earlier about how this is a team that just finds ways to win. They're going to go back and review this to see if, in fact, it was a touchdown. But, Joe, it's momentum swings, right?
Watch his body on top of the defender, Jesse.
Yeah.
Look at his legs.
Does that left elbow ever touch the ground before the ball crosses the plane?
And you can see as he's laying atop J.Q. Hardaway, watch his legs. The lower body is not hitting the ground. Watch for the elbow.
It looked like the left elbow hit the ground there to me, but the question is, where was the football in proximity to the goal line?
Look at this elbow.
Like, I think the elbow's down right there, but where was the ball? And again, it was called a touchdown, so you need inconclusive video evidence to overturn this.
Ball's in his right hand and put away at the moment that left elbow hits. But the ruling on the field is a touchdown. So unless you have the video evidence that says otherwise, there's no doubt that the elbow hits. But can you absolutely confirm that the ball wasn't there yet?
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
And that is the case. Joey Gatewood with the 11-yard touchdown reception. And they did it in 3 minutes. A quick response with 5 plays.
You know, guys, Gatewood said this week he was going to get one against his former team, and he delivered on his word.
How about that, Katie? A guy that started his career as a quarterback playing for Gus Malzahn at Auburn, then goes to Kentucky, then goes to UCF before transferring here and switching positions. He's got a lot of ability, too. Big, athletic. He showed it off there.
Isaac Guerrero started it off with an excellent kickoff return. And it put him in position. And then Joey Gatewood reaching across. And it's a 10-point game again.
Jacket, back to you, Tess.
That is aggressive, isn't it? Fashion forward.
You know, guys, Mark Stoops told me at half, which seems like ages ago since his offense hasn't touched the ball yet, that they have to stay ahead of schedule. He said Louisville's extremely aggressive. So if we can be efficient in the run game, pick up 4 or 5 yards per carry, and stay ahead of the chains, we'll start to move the ball. He, of course, mentioned his guys up front. He said the protection has to be better. That was something he was upset about at the end of the first quarter. His big guys have to do their job on this drive.
Yeah, Katie, it's a good point. The big blue wall now, they really have to assert themselves up front. And I think getting guys like Barion Brown involved in the jet sweep game, some reverses as well, getting to the outside, I think helps this rushing offense.
First offensive play of the second half for Kentucky. Wide open. And Cummings still going down to the 20-yard line. Izayah Cummings, who went nearly 2 years without a catch, and last week had 3 and then does this.
I think it was Mason Reiger, the defensive end, that needs to run with him down the boundary on this play, but he doesn't. He just kind of turns around and lets him go. There's nobody back there. And we talked about Kentucky being down their top 2 tight ends in this game, and Cummings now shows up with a monster grab.
He's a local Louisville guy. Went to Male High School where so many UL legends have gone. But he just went for 55 yards for the Cats. Leary looking for Davis in the end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky. Back and forth they go.
What a fantastic play design by Liam Cohen. A little bit of misdirection. They're faking a handoff to Ray Davis. Everything looks like a half roll for Devin Leary. Working to his right, and they sneak the running back Davis out of the backfield on a wheel route. He runs by 2 Louisville defenders, and a perfect throw, dropping it right in the bucket. Nothing linebacker TJ Quinn can do.
2 plays, 59 seconds. So the third quarter for Kentucky has been a 100-yard kickoff return, and then the big play, 55 yards to Cummings, and then Davis on that touchdown catch. 3 touches of the ball for Kentucky in this third quarter. 2 touchdowns, 24-21 in a thrilling second half.
This game has got absolutely crazy. Devin Leary, great job really selling this, coming back, locating Davis with a perfect touch throw over top. When they've given Devin Leary time, Joe, in this game, he's made some really good-looking throws. Katie was telling us at the start of the drive that Mark Stoops wanted this offensive line to really step up. I think you've seen that here on pass protection on this drive. It's a good sign for Kentucky. Take a look at these numbers. First half, 97 total yards. That scoring drive, 75 yards in 2 plays.
Listen, Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator, is down on the field today. Right? So if you want your offensive line to play inspired, be galvanized, put a fire under them a little bit. You got your OC right there with them.
You got to be able to make that eye contact sometimes. That's right. And really have that connection. And it makes a difference.
Remember, Guerrero had a big return last time. This will be Turner now on the return. And here he goes. Out past the 30-yard line.
It's like you're holding your breath every time somebody has the football.
Flag is down.
During the return, holding on the receiving team, number 85. That's the distance to the goal. It will be first down.
Reminder tonight at 7 on ESPN is Florida State. Rodemaker at quarterback now against Florida. Right here on ABC at 7:30. It is number 1 Georgia facing Georgia Tech.
Florida game, too. Max Brown now playing for the injured Graham Mertz for the Gators, but that's a big task going up against the Florida State defense that's given up just 17 points a game.
Last week we were at Missouri. That was a great game. I loved what Max Brown brought to that.
Yeah, an added element and dimension with his ability running the football. I think the Gator offense is going to look a little bit different tonight because of that zone read game that he brings.
So after the penalty, ball on the 10-yard line, jet motion again, Coleman, and Coleman splits defenders for 9 yards.
Just waiting for a home run to happen at some point, right? Someone's going to break another one. You've got to. That's the kind of crazy third quarter this has been. And now both of these teams just trading punches. For Kentucky, it's been explosive big plays. And for Louisville, it's been more methodical, physical, matriculating the ball down the field.
Louisville opened up this second half with a 15-play scoring drive that took over 9 minutes and finished with a 4th down touchdown run. Meanwhile, Kentucky, the kickoff return and the 2 plays for a score. Plummer to the outside as he hits the open receiver, and spinning ahead is Thrash for 11 yards and a 1st down.
And it makes sense. You really haven't seen Louisville take a bunch of shots deep down the field because Kentucky's playing big zone coverages and their corners are giving a lot of cushion. So Louisville's just going to continue running these curl routes, these intermediate type routes, coming back to the football. And Jack Plummer, he's going to take those all day.
Final half minute of this third quarter that has seen 28 points. Jordan hits the seam, and a ball came out. Ball came out at the end just as he was spinning for extra yardage. There is a fight for it.
What a great effort by J.J. Weaver from Kentucky in pursuit. Once Jordan got into the second level, it was
Kentucky comes out with it.
And look who has it. It's J.J. Weaver.
J.J. Weaver with the fumble recovery at the end of that big play by Jordan.
J.J. Weaver's a Louisville, Kentucky native from more traditional high school. He never quit on the play. Tremendous pursuit and effort. He's able to sort of rip that out with his right arm. Jordan puts it on the floor, and that is a massive turnover for this Kentucky defense. We want to talk about seizing momentum and what they've done here in the third quarter on special teams, on offense, and now finally on defense.
J.J. Weaver all on his own, knocking it out, recovering it, the first turnover of the game. And Jesse, only the 4th fumble that Louisville has lost during this magical run this season.
So if you're Liam Cohen here in a sudden change situation, Jody, you take a shot. That last drive was just 2 plays, everything downfield, vertical, trying to show play action on 1st down. There's a lot of play callers throughout the country in situations just like this. After a turnover in this area of the field, you'd like to see if they can get one thrown over your head.
Liam Cohen, excellent play caller, 37 years old. You hear his name pop up for head coaching vacancies. He's had some great moments here today, including the touchdown we saw to Ray Davis moments ago. 20 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Back and forth they have gone, and then the first turnover of the game. Leary throwing back to Davis. Davis past midfield. Davis cuts it back to the 42-yard line.
Second play in a row, they've gone misdirection in the passing game, faking a handoff to Davis, rolling out one way, and throwing it all the way back across the field to their best offensive player.
Dueling touchdowns until J.J. Weaver had the fumble recovery. ESPN College Football, presented by Dayquil, returns after this message and a word from our ABC stations. This is what the start of a fourth quarter rivalry game looks like and sounds like. L&N Stadium here in Louisville. Everybody on their feet. Wildly entertaining third quarter now comes with a high drama fourth quarter. Top 10 team in the country, Louisville, headed to the ACC championship game, but trying to break through against their in-state rivals. Kentucky's won the last 4. And now with the ball facing a 2nd and 3 to start the fourth quarter, trailing by a field goal. Ray Davis on the carry. and Davis only gets a yard. Moments ago, Katie with Coach.
Coach Brown, your team has delivered many times when they faced adversity this season. What kind of response do you need to see from your group right now?
Well, we got to get better. That was a bad quarter for us. Special teams has to be more solid. We've got to get stops on defense and offense. We can't turn it over. So about everything that went wrong did. So they got the momentum. So we got to get it back, and that's going to just be by playing hard and finding a way to tough it out.
Thank you.
Part of getting that momentum back, Katie, is getting a stop here defensively, but you're probably going to have to do it for 2 plays. This feels like go for it time for Kentucky.
3rd and 2. Devin Leary. Leary battered at midfield. Ball came out. There's a fight for it. Let's see what the officials rule.
It was the hit by TJ Quinn that forced the ball out. And the question is, they're going to look at this to see if this is an incompletion or a fumble, and was the arm moving forward. That pass rush by Louisville that looked so good at the start of the game, it kind of gone away in the 3rd quarter, but you saw it again right there.
You be the judge. Is the arm coming forward for an incomplete pass, or is that a fumble?
There is no foul for intentional grounding. Number 82 and number 4 were in the area. It will be 4th down.
And then they also rule on whether or not it was intentional grounding. They said it was a receiver in the area. So it is 4th down, 4th and 2. Kentucky trailing by a field goal. Just over 14 minutes to play in a game that would erase a lot of frustrations this season for the Cats. They're 1-9 on 4th down this year. The pitch. Davis. Gotta get it, and he does. Alderman had a chance, but Davis got past him.
And there's the tough running that you're accustomed to seeing from Ray Davis. He gets the pads low center of gravity, phenomenal balance. You've got to bring your legs and wrap up when you're trying to tackle Ray Davis. Alderman did not get that done. What a big gamble by Mark Stoops on 4th and 2, and their best offensive player pays it off.
This time Davis is wrapped up by Perry.
Well, they're trying to use the jet motion to slow down Benjamin Perry coming off the edge. They're trying to show, hey, we're going to give this jet to Barion Brown, so you can't come screaming off the edge. But Perry paid no attention to that and made a big play in the backfield.
That's 6 tackles for loss for Louisville.
It feels like the energy in the stadium, Joe, is different right now in the 4th quarter.
Listen to that roar. End around Brown. Gets the block. Cuts up inside the 30 and tiptoes his way for more. Barion Brown, who had the 100-yard kickoff return.
It's misdirection by Liam Cohen. You're pulling a guard the other way. You're trying to get Louisville's defense to think this is going to the left. In reality, it's not. He's going to start this way and peel around and get a lead block. We've seen a lot of creativity from Liam Cohen in this game calling plays. And we talked about how it wasn't just going to be Ray Davis running it, right, conventionally. But Barion Brown and Jetson reverses would have to be a big part of it, too. Liam Cohen right now is in a rhythm calling plays.
11 yards from Brown. A lot of traffic in the backfield as Larry gave to Ray Davis, and Wilson clogged it up. Liam Cohen looks into that play sheet. Second and 9, they're bringing pressure. Leary inside the 5. drive, trying to go basket over the shoulder for Brown, but it's incomplete as he was covered by Perry.
Well, that was a zero blitz from Louisville. Defensive coordinator Ron English dialing it up at the right time, and everybody's one-on-one. There's no safety help deep, but there's one more guy than Kentucky can block. So Devin Leary's got to get rid of it early, and it now sets up third down. And an interesting decision now for Ron English if you're Louisville. Are you bringing pressure here again back-to-back? After getting home with that last cover zero look, do you have the confidence to dial up another pressure here?
3rd and 9. And a timeout was called.
Prior to the snap, timeout Kentucky. It's their first charge timeout of the half. It was prior to the play clock expiring.
Take a short break, and it is 3rd and 9 for the Cats when we come back. Third down and 9. Devin Leary. Can he put the Cats in position? Quarterback run goes nowhere. Just gobbled up immediately and taken down by Gelati.
It was the perfect front for that QB run because Louisville's running games and twists on both defensive ends, and they twist right into the QB draw. You could not have called a better defense if you're Ron English, defensive play caller for Louisville.
So that brings up Alex Rayner, who's in the top 10 among active kickers in college football. 9 of 10 on the season. This to tie the game from 46. And he does so. And isn't it fitting that in a rivalry game like this, with these two programs, and this kind of year with Louisville always having fourth quarter drama, it's tied up at 24 apiece. As Rayner continues his hot season. And give credit to J.J. Weaver. End of the third quarter, comes up with the strip, with the fumble recovery. Kentucky able to manage things to open up the fourth quarter, and it's tied up. And this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund, and we thank All-State for that.
I just think of the way Kentucky's responded, because to start the second half, Louisville got the ball. They took a long drive down the field that lasted more than 9 minutes, score a touchdown, pat their lead, and you start kind of thinking, you know, this thing might be getting away here now at this point. And all of a sudden, the Barion Brown kick return touchdown, next offensive series, 2-play score. Defense comes up with a fumble, and they just pay that off with the field goal. And it's a Kentucky sideline right now playing with a ton of confidence.
Rayner just tied the game, and now the short kickoff to the 14-yard line as Turner is on the return. And he makes it out to the 28. The All-State playoff predictor looks this way, and keep in mind, Louisville is still one of the 9 teams that can make the college football playoff. And you say, now how can that be? Folks, if Texas takes a loss in the Big 12 title game, and then you get chalk winning the SEC with Georgia, the Big 10, and Washington, there's the case for Louisville if, and it's a big if, they beat Florida State.
Yeah, we've been talking about the eye test, haven't been overly consistently dominant, but if they were to win out and Florida State beats the Gators tonight, all of a sudden from a resume standpoint, you know, the 3 wins against the top 25, including a big win against Notre Dame, helps their case.
There's a run by Durendo out to the 35-yard line. That was the high water mark. The circle, the game, was October 7th when Notre Dame came in here as the number 10 team in the country, and Louisville just punched them right in the face, 33-20, and this place was rolling.
Well, you think about, comparatives and what goes on in the committee room, and if Ohio State were to beat Michigan today and get in as the #2 team, that's a common opponent Louisville has with Ohio State. And they could say, well, Louisville was more impressive in that win. It's just something to consider.
Play action. Plummer, incomplete. As you saw, Phillips in coverage against Brad.
I think the biggest issue for Louisville, though, is the loss against Pittsburgh.
Yes.
It's a team with 3 wins coming into this weekend, and that's something obviously the committee very, very aware of. So, I mean, it is possible. We're not saying it's impossible. It's probably more possible than I think a lot of people think at this point. But really, Louisville right now, none of that even matters if they don't win this football game. They need to worry about an in-state rival that they've lost 4 straight games to.
An in-state rival that has been forged against a very difficult schedule. Now 4 opponents currently in the top 10 for Kentucky. 3rd and 3. Plummer trying to extend the play and look at an option. May have to run it here on 3rd and 3. Ball came out. The butt again. J.J. Weaver with another fumble recovery here in the second half.
I think it was De'Aaron Jackson, a linebacker, that had popped the football free. He punched it out, and Johnny on the spot. J.J. Weaver with another huge takeaway. Here's Jackson. Plummer doesn't do a good job with ball security, tucking the ball away, and the football takes crazy bounces. You think that thing was going to go out of bounds, but it didn't. And J.J. Weaver, again, for the 2nd straight drive, doesn't quit on the play, and he's there to pick it up. This has been the difference in the game right now. 2 turnovers, both for Kentucky's defense.
Kentucky taking over at the Louisville 22-yard line. This magical dream season for Louisville against their in-state rival that has had such choppy waters with the game against Georgia, Mizzou, Tennessee, Alabama, and then last week a disappointment against South Carolina. They can erase a lot of those frustrations right here.
It's such a good point, Joe. You think about the mindset, right? There was a time, you and I called the Florida game. They're 5-0, and you're thinking, is this the 2nd-best team in the SEC East? They've won 1 game in their last 6, and certainly winning today, it's not going to erase all the pain from everything that's happened, but winning games like this can make things okay for a fan base moving forward. When you talk to their coaching staff and you talk to their players, this game just means so much, and now they have that opportunity here in the 4th quarter.
Davis trying to get out of the backfield. Davis upfield, inside the 10, into the end zone. How about these Cats?
Love the play design by Liam Cohen. You're getting him one-on-one with a linebacker, Jalen Alderman, on the screen, and Ray Davis's space is a problem. We haven't seen him do a lot of damage toting the rock in this game. 6 carries for 15 yards only on the ground, but in the second half, they've thrown him the football. That's how they've gotten #1 touches, and man, he has answered.
J.J. Weaver, the linebacker for Kentucky, has been in the right place, the right time, and he did it again. His 2nd fumble recovery of this second half. And Kentucky took advantage. Just go to your star. And they did. And with that, a 7-point lead against top 10 Louisville. Kentucky to victory in this rivalry game. They've won the last 4. They've won 5 of the last 6. But it's this Louisville team that was supposed to be out in front today. A Louisville team that's headed to the ACC championship game. That has the slimmest of college football playoff hopes still alive as the day started. But now at home, they trail by a touchdown. Special teams have played a big role in this second half. High-scoring second half. Let's see if Garendo gets a chance. No, they go short again to the 29-yard line. And that gives us the opportunity to check in with Kevin and Booger in the studio.
For Oklahoma State later today on ABC. Back to you.
Boog, I agree with you. Jesse, I know you do too, that if you've watched ball closely this year, it doesn't take much to say. Jaden Daniels taken down again. J.J. Weaver has decided to impact this game in a big way.
Yeah, right now he's completely taken this game over, and they're going to run a game of their own. They're going to start him over the left tackle way out here. He's going to loop to the inside. Louisville's offensive line not able to pick him up. And J.J. Weaver, the Louisville native, is making his presence felt here in the second half.
Garendo. He's taken down by Hayes.
Guys, Jack Plummer told me yesterday his greatest improvement this season is being able to construct comeback wins and flushing negative plays. Plummer said he's been able to move past his mistakes this season, come back and deliver for his team. No better opportunity to prove that than right now, guys.
Yeah, he's been doing it, Katie. 4 comeback wins this year. Normally very poised in moments like this.
4 comeback wins. That's the most Louisville's had since 2012. 3rd down and 11 for Plummer. And able to get the first down to Thrash.
And there's a great example of that poise. This is going to be an in route from Thrash that takes a long time to develop. He actually takes an outside release, so it took a little bit longer than it normally would. And you see Plummer there just drifting to the left, finding the soft spot in the pocket to buy himself time. Nice job.
Plummer, play action, wants a shot. And that was denied at the last second by Phillips against Thrash.
That's a fantastic job by Phillips. He's given up some big ones this year. Gave up a hitch and go last week against South Carolina, but he did a great job of turning his head, locating the ball, and then swatting it away. Athletically, it is so difficult to play the corner position. I think it's one of the most difficult things in all of sports. Andrew Phillips did an outstanding job right there.
Defensive coordinator Brad White has such respect, says he's an elite level nickel, NFL level. Plummer just goes and hooks it up over the middle with his tight end, Kariski.
And that's the thing, if you're Jack Plummer right here, you don't have to do anything superhuman. Just execute the offense. Take your steps, read the coverage, and let the defense dictate who gets the football. That's one of the things I love about Barion Brown calling plays. Not everything is going to one guy. Defenses can't bracket someone or double somebody because anybody is a viable option on any given play. The open guy gets it.
3rd down and 1. Garendo. He's denied. Stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. De'Eric Jackson and Wallace were involved on the tackle.
Now that's going to set up 4th down. This just feels like a huge moment here. It's going to be under 6 minutes to go. Kentucky, mass substitution, trying to get fresh bodies on the field. And, of course, big number 0. Yep, Deion Walker right in the middle of that line.
They're 2 for 2 on 4th down today. Fourth and 1. Garendo, can he get there? He is driven back. The Kentucky front with Wallace and Ribka denying Louisville on 4th down.
It was Trayvon Ribka one-on-one against Michael Gonzalez that won at the point of attack. There's Ribka right there. He's celebrating because he made his presence felt. Ribka's right here. Watch him stand up the left guard. And there's a little pushback, and there's nowhere for Garendo to go. This stout Kentucky D-line, the 2nd best in the SEC against the run, showing up at a massive critical moment. And Mark Stoops loves it.
Brad White's defense, Mark Stoops, of course, foundation of this program is tough defense. And Ribka says, quiet down here at Louisville. And now Ray Davis and that offense trying to put the game away with a touchdown lead and 5.5 minutes to play in what has been such an entertaining second half of action.
And so in this kind of situation, it's called 4-minute offense. You'd love to be able to just run the football and bleed the clock. And Kentucky has not had success running the ball in this game. Louisville's front seven has been outstanding stopping the run. So you kind of get the feeling that Kentucky's going to hold on. Devin Leary's probably still going to have to make a couple throws.
He's made those throws for Ray Davis. 2 20-yard touchdown receptions. 2nd and 9. Play action. Here's an opportunity for Leary. Crossing route incomplete as it went a little low to Dane Key. Now a big 3rd and 9, Jesse.
That's the second drop by Dane Key in this game, and now it sets up a massive 3rd down. The crowd's going to get loud. It's going to be hard for Kentucky's offensive line to hear the cadence and know when the snap's coming against an outstanding pass rush.
He's been solid on 3rd down. Can he keep it up? 3rd down and 9. Louisville trying to get the ball back. Maintain their status as a top 10 team. Leary drifting back. Pressured. That ball's intercepted. Look at this. Brownlee on the return. Oh, what a mistake by Devin Leary. He had Jelani in his mug, and Brownlee secures it. Louisville's in prime position.
Jelani's lined up at defensive tackle on the inside on this 3rd down, and he's able to get to Devin Leary. I think Leary was obviously trying to throw this ball out of bounds, but Jelani got to him first, and he met him. And Leary was never able to follow through on the throw. And what a critical mistake by Kentucky's offense at the worst possible moment. And there he is, Jarvis Brownlee, a guy that we weren't sure was going to play because of an injury, coming up with a big-time interception, giving the offense the ball back now on the 25-yard line.
Golden opportunity for Louisville. Jordan can't get much against the Eric Jackson. Devin Leary, all the experience, all the pressure football. Jelani gets right in his face, and Leary knew it.
It's been that kind of season for Devin Leary, too, Joe. Came into this game, 9 interceptions, leads the SEC. We talked about them not being able to have consistency for this entire game up to that point, up to that play, Joe. He'd been doing a great job of being efficient, making good decisions, putting his football team in a position to win.
On 2nd and 8. Plummer is wrecked, driven back by Hayes.
Yeah, you're seeing other guys outside of just Deion Walker now taking over. It was Ripka on the last drive, and now big Izayah Hayes at 320 pounds, lined up at the nose guard. He's just going to beat the center, and then there's a guard coming over trying to slant to get him. Pressure from the outside from Walker forces Jack Plummer to have to step up, and Hayes is there to clean up the mess.
3rd and 14. Plummer goes underneath, and that's down to the 21-yard line as he connects.
Plummer throws complete to Dane Key.
It's a nice job to just get a lot of that yardage back. Make this field goal a whole lot easier. Needing a touchdown now, they're going to go.
With 3 minutes to play. 4th and 6. Offense will stay on the field. Fourth down for Louisville. Plummer looking for something, being chased, gets rid of it, and they get it to Huggins Bruce. A little magic from Jack Plummer.
We talked about the poise that Jack Plummer has shown throughout the course of the season. 4 come from behind wins coming up to this one. That play may make it 5.
And now the extra point to tie the game, and it's Nick Lopez, who didn't play until last week. And with 2:33 left in regulation, the team that has had all the come-from-behind wins this year, could they have another 4th down magic from Jack Plummer? Amari Huggins-Bruce with the touchdown reception. And this rivalry is living up to everything it's been. Put your head up, Coach Stoops. We got time to play. The battle for the Governor's Cup. There it is, 110 pounds of it. It has always been chippy through the years. Remember, they didn't play this rivalry game for 70 years. And then when they returned in the early 90s, through all the glory teams on both sides, even Lamar got involved a little bit, Jesse. This is what it's looked like.
Yeah, this is pretty incredible.
And this was today, before kickoff. They had to separate the teams. We had a penalty on the opening kickoff. We had penalties throughout. The pushing, the shoving, the jawing, the punching. And they're battling deep into the late rounds, 31-31. Ray Davis looking for something. Ray Davis getting loose.
I know he hasn't done much on the ground in this game, but every time number 1 has the football, you just hold your breath, because this guy's proven week in and week out he can hit the home run. He's had 2 receiving touchdowns here in the second half as Jack Plummer and the rest of this Louisville team look on. This game far from over.
Coming up on 2 minutes to play. Leary with time goes downfield, overthrows the intended target, Robinson.
See Louisville right here deciding to play man-to-man coverage, loading the box, anticipating Ray Davis maybe getting some more touches out of the backfield. But you put these guys on islands one-on-one, and Devin Leary wants to take a shot.
Second and 10 for Leary. What a great throw into the hands of Brown. And they are in range for a chance to win it.
Wow, this is a big-time throw because Leary's fitting this in between a corner and a safety. He uses his eyes to try to freeze the safety in the middle of the field. This thing has to come out, and he puts it in the perfect place. I'll tell you, that's big time, too, for a guy that just threw a critical interception that led to a Louisville touchdown. To answer like that on the very next drive is impressive.
Starting safety for Louisville, Cam Kelly, is still down at the end of the play after that 23-yard reception by Barion Brown. Moments ago, Devin Leary hit Barion Brown on a 23-yard reception. And that has a first down for Kentucky at the Louisville 37-yard line. This incredible season that Louisville has strung together with so many fourth-quarter comebacks of their own, but here in a wildly dramatic second half where we have had 45 points scored in the second half alone. It is Kentucky that has survived choppy waters with a difficult SEC schedule, taking top 10 Louisville to the limit, and now trying to take the lead with just over a minute to play. Ray Davis. Here goes Ray. Say goodbye to Ray into the end zone. And the Cats are in control. A 37-yard touchdown by Ray Davis.
We talked about the importance of Ray Davis needing to be disciplined running the football, going where the blockers are and letting holes open up. He did it right there. That was tremendous, patient running. And he hits yet another home run now to give Kentucky here the lead late.
Such an incredible life story. He was in and out of foster care. His parents were in and out of prison. He was taken in by legal guardians who helped change the course of his life, from boarding school football at Trinity Pauling to Blair Academy to now his third different college football program where he's rushed for 1,000 yards. And on this rivalry Saturday, he has emerged as the star of this second half.
On the defense, number 3, that penalty is declined from the Tribes group.
Well, it was good patient running because he's got his tight end Izayah Cummings coming around to block Ben Perry right here, but he's got to take his time, let it happen before he hits it. You know, there's a lot of running backs in this moment that would have tried to bounce it outside. He cut it back. He made a defender miss, and like we've seen all season, he's able to hit the gas, and it's taillight. There was a time this year after the Florida game that people were talking about Ray Davis being a dark horse Heisman candidate. The second half of the season's been tough sledding for them running the football, but catching the ball in the third quarter, now getting it done on the ground, Kentucky has responded here on the road. And if you're Jack Plummer, Joe, you've got 3 timeouts in your back pocket now. The minute to go in a 2-minute situation. This is a very explosive offense. They've got receivers, they've got running backs, they've got guys that can get it done. It takes only one play. I can't wait to see how this thing finishes.
Kentucky has scored 31 points in this second half. And they're playing keep away with all the big returns we have seen this year. As Turner is wrapped up at the 27-yard line. 56 seconds to go. Louisville's had the comeback wins. Can they pull off another one on this rivalry Saturday?
Joe, they've averaged 5.9 plays per touchdown drive this year. That's the fewest in the ACC. They've got running backs that can do it. They've got receivers that can run by you. They've got receivers that are good after the catch. It just takes one.
Plummer steps up, and that ball is knocked away by Hairston as Kariski was trying to secure it.
He's been so good, Hairston, this year in these zone coverages of keeping his eyes on the quarterback, but also reading route concepts so that he can break on the ball when it's thrown. He just excels at this, and this is why he leads the SEC with 5 picks.
Plummer gets it quickly to Jordan. Jordan will get upfield and then get out of bounds as Harrison was there to meet him. 45 seconds remain. Louisville 3 timeouts.
They're going to have to earn it too, Joe, because Kentucky right now, they're just playing big zone coverages, right? They just want to keep the ball in front of them and then rally to it and try to make tackles in the field to play, to bleed this clock, and obviously force Louisville to use their timeouts.
Third and 4, they drop 80. Look to check down. Then he hooks it up over the middle for the first down as he's able to get it to Thrash. So here we go. Clock stops with the old clock rules under 2 minutes. The timeouts are available to Louisville, and they will use one here with 38 seconds remaining.
It's been interesting watching Kentucky on this drive defensively. They're just rushing 3. They've got Keaton Wade kind of back spying for Jack Plummer in case he decides to get out and try to extend like he did on that critical 4th down where he threw a touchdown pass. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been unbelievable. And listen, we brought it up in terms of the kind of season that Kentucky has had, where they came in with high expectations, and they felt like they had the pieces because of the transfer quarterback, the transfer running back, and then they end up playing a schedule, the SEC alone, but a schedule that produces 4 top 10 teams. this erases a lot of those issues.
It erases a lot of it. Of course, it's not going to make everything go away. I know it's been hard for Kentucky fans as well, because in state they've been watching what Louisville's been doing all year in Jeff Brom's first year getting to a conference championship game. They've seen the success Missouri had. That was supposed to be Kentucky and Mark Stoops this year.
Can they hold on here and upset top 10 Louisville, or will Plummer get something done? That's a good play defensively as Thrash was taken down that time.
So Louisville uses timeouts here, back-to-back plays. Try and save as much clock as possible, but man, you've seen the speed of Kentucky's defense all game long, right, Joe? And their ability to go sideline to sideline, rally to the football. They've done a nice job tackling in the open field.
Saw that from Jansen Dunn right there. Jesse, on Sunday, December 3rd, it'll be Selection Day, the reveal of the final college football playoff rankings. That's noon Eastern on ESPN. Of course, so much still to be decided. We started this day with Louisville being one of 9 teams still alive, as slim as could be, but still one of 9 teams to still be alive to make the college football playoff.
And you just look ahead. Florida State tonight without Jordan Travis, a quarterback, in the ACC title game against this Louisville team. You know, the Pac-12 championship, Washington-Oregon, is a game that Oregon can easily win. The SEC with Bama and Georgia, that could go any way. There's so much chaos possible on the horizon.
2nd and 7. Plummer. That ball was thrown to the inside of Chris Bell. Took that hit from Dunn.
And they're lucky that wasn't picked, too, because tips lead to picks, especially when you're throwing over the middle of the field. You kind of hold your breath. Location of throws so critical right now. That time trying to slow down Bell in the zone, just not on the same page.
Third down, 3-man rush. Plummer trying to get upfield is Gatewood. Remember, Gatewood had the touchdown earlier, and pushing that pile ahead, still inside the 40. But look at the clock continuing to count down.
I don't know if Kentucky's defense was actually purposely trying to hold him up and not let him get down on the ground.
So that came at a cost, utilizing a timeout. But think about how many precious seconds came off the clock for just a few extra yards.
It's just not, the risk is not worth the reward to get a few extra yards but bleed that many seconds off the clock. If you're Gatewood, go back and take a look at this, and you can kind of get an idea of sort of what this meant. 24 seconds of game clock when he makes the catch. You just got to try to fall down. I'm not saying it's easy. There's literally 75 people in there on that pile. It's awareness of the situation in the game right now.
Louisville's out of timeouts.
And, you know, it's in these moments offensively, too. Your best players have to touch the ball. And I know we've been talking about how the open guy gets it, but Jamari Thrash has been the go-to guy. And I know he's got the hand injury all season long. He's been their big play wide receiver. It's a big moment for him. And if you're Jack Plummer, you're trying to find your best matchups.
15 seconds remain. No timeouts for Louisville. Plummer to the outside as he gets it to Jordan. Jordan's got to get out, and he does with 9 ticks of the clock remaining.
You only have time for maybe 2 plays left if you're Louisville here. But you don't have any timeouts. So you're thrown to the sideline. You're trying to get it to somebody to get out of bounds quickly. But you can't be holding on to the football too long either here if you're Jack Plummer. You got to have a plan. If things aren't there right away, you just got to throw it away. And you got to throw it out of bounds quickly. It's got to be a line drive out of bounds to save the clock.
This dream season for Louisville. It comes down to this. He's going to loft it to the end zone. That ball is intercepted. That is Jordan Lovett to put a cap on it. And Mark Stoops, who said this win would feel so good. Well, does it ever? Big Deion Walker, he was a star earlier today. Plummer gave it his best shot. They may be checking to see if there's any time left on the clock. Lovett secured it in the end zone. And they're putting L's down on that Kentucky sideline.
The ruling on the field is an interception. That play is under video review.
Well, you don't see many Hail Marys from the 32-yard line, but this was it. I thought they had an opportunity maybe to try to dial something up to get down a little bit closer. He threw it down there, but none of the Louisville receivers were able to get that deep, and that was an easy interception for Lovett. And Mark Stoops, for the 5th straight time, is going to win the Governor's Cup.
Mark Stoops said to us the other day, he sized up their season. He goes, yeah, listen, we got to get out of our own way. No stupid penalties, can't kill ourselves, but you reflect. They played #1 Georgia. They played a Missouri team who's top 10. They played a Bama team who was peaking and playing the best all season. Tennessee team with an offense when their offense actually played well in a competitive game. And then, yes, the disappointment against South Carolina.
After further review, the ruling on the field is an interception is confirmed. Please, timer, please put 2 seconds on the game clock. 2 seconds. Thank you.
But you come here on the road against your in-state rival when they're having the best year they've had in some time, and you do this, makes up for things.
Well, it says a lot about this football team and wanting to finish the season, understanding the task at hand, and just trying to create positive momentum heading into the offseason now, into the bowl season, and then into the offseason after that. I mean, these rivalry games, especially against an in-state opponent, it just changes so many things. And listen, it would have been easy for them after that game last week and that loss against South Carolina for the 2nd straight year to just want to pack it up and just finish the season.
When he said, don't do anything stupid, don't kill ourselves. Kentucky, 0 penalties today. In a second half that saw 45 points in a thriller with a 100-yard kickoff return, with Ray Davis and his 3 touchdowns, and a defense that stepped up big with that guy right there, J.J. Weaver, with 2 fumble recoveries. And it's the 5th straight win for the Governor's Cup. Katie.
Coach Stoops, that was an unbelievable second half. Your team scores 31 points in the last 2 quarters. What impressed you about the way your team finished today?
Well, just whatever you want to call it, perseverance, resolve, all the stuff us coaches use, but just really proud of our team. It's been a tough year, and we've had a brutal schedule. It's the 4th top 10 team we've played, and we're bound and determined to get one of them. So just proud of our team, the way we hung in there and competed our butt off there in the second half.
Devin Leary throws an interception. Louisville ties it. What does it say about him to come back and put you in position for this guy to take the go-ahead TD?
We were confident. Devin, he's under a lot of duress. They have a great team and a great defense. And so we were bound and determined. We came back and put it in position to turn it over to this guy. And I told him in the huddle, I told the big boys, please take over and hand the rock to this guy and let's go end it. And that's what they did. I'll let you talk to him.
Appreciate you, Coach.
You got the job done. You've had an incredible season, Ray. What does it mean for you and this group to come on the road against a top 10 team and beat your bitter rival?
I mean, you just got to look at all the adversity we dealt with all season. We have some up and downs throughout the year, but we stuck together. We came in this and we always stuck. We always said we want to be a togetherness and stick together and do what we got to do and come out here and get the W. That's what we did. We didn't care about any other games before. What matters is getting the victory, and it's forever L's down around here.
What was your mindset in the 4th quarter?
Just do what I got to do. Put the city on my back. I know the whole city of Lexington wanted this W, so I told Coach, hey, put it on my back. I'm going to go out there and try to get us a victory, but it's all up front to my guys, my O-linemen, my receivers, and just my coaches believing in me and trusting in me. Hey, we got the W. Now we can celebrate and go on from there.
Congratulations. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
And that team that only had 3 wins in the SEC just beat a team that's going to play for the ACC championship. Kentucky only had 47 total plays and scored 38 points. That was a thriller. The Governor's Cup game delivers again, 38-31. For Katie and Jesse, I'm Joe Tessitore. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Let's get you back to the College Football Scoreboard Studio Show with Kevin and Booker. Gentlemen, take it away.
Good work, Joe. Jesse, thank you so much.